I used to get made fun of a lot for being a highly sensitive person and some of the things that I would do because of it. I remember back even to elementary school when we'd be in gym class and the teacher would say that we're going to do a schoolyard pick to divide up the teams for dodgeball. I would immediately start to feel bad for the person who was going to be last picked. And then when that person, whoever it was the last one picked, I would feel so sad about them and worry about how they were feeling for the rest of the day. And then when I was in high school, when I'd be downtown shopping with my girlfriends and I'd see a homeless person sitting on the sidewalk, I would run over and give them any change that I had. And then when I was in my early 20s, I remember working at this restaurant as a hostess, and me and the other hostess were standing at the front, and this couple came in who looked really upset. They looked angry. They looked like they had just had a fight. And I looked at my coworker and I said, "Oh my gosh, I hope everything's okay. They look like they're having a really rough time." And she stopped and looked at me and said, "Who thinks about stuff like that? What's wrong with you? They're strangers. Who cares?" I am also the person who cries during Christmas Tim Hortons Coffee Company commercials because they are tearjerkers. And I've been made fun of it for these things. I've been ridiculed for these things. I've even sometimes been criticized for my sensitivity, being told that I'm just too sensitive. And for a long time, I felt ashamed of it. I felt bad about it. I felt like there was something wrong with me. And it wasn't until I truly learned what it means to be a highly sensitive person, all sides of it, the sides that make it tough and the sides that make it amazing, that I learned to really embrace it and love these things about myself. So today I'm going to talk to you about being a highly sensitive person and what that means in this world, in this day and age, and why being a highly sensitive person is one of your greatest superpowers. But first, if you're new here, welcome to our incredible little channel on the internet. My name is Julia Kristina, and I am a registered clinical therapist, a researcher, a coach, and the creator of my membership community, the Shift Society, where heart-centered humans like you are coming in and taking this work to the next level. You can get more information about the Shift Society in the description below. I am so glad that you are here, and if you haven't already had a chance to subscribe to the channel, the button's one of these sides. If you get something out of the video, if you could like it, that would be amazing. So let's talk about what it means to be a highly sensitive person and how this is nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to feel bad about, and is truly one of your greatest superpowers. But first, I want you to let me know something in the comment section below. I want you to let me know if you have ever looked at someone that you know, maybe it's a friend or a colleague or a family member who just doesn't seem to get too bothered by too much. They don't really take things personally. They don't really stress or obsess about things. They're able to just let things roll off their back. They don't seem to get in their head and overthink and analyze and tease things apart. They just seem to go through life relatively lightly, relatively easily. And you look at that person and you're like, how do you do that? And how is that possible? And why can't I be more like that? And you've felt bad about yourself. You've maybe even used that comparison to put yourself down and be like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. I can't not think about things. I can't not worry about other people. I can't not take things personally. I can't not be affected by all of the big things that are going on in the world. And you've used that as a reason to feel bad about yourself. Well, I want you to know that it's not your fault that you might feel that way. Because our society tends to value the warriors and the fighters and the people that can spin a good argument and be the best and be the top and be the biggest and not be bogged down by anything and not overthink anything, and the people that are analytical and rational and are able to just move through life with that sense of ease. And so you think, I don't have that, so what's wrong with me? But the truth is, we need both kinds of people in our world. We do need the politicians and the leaders and the CEOs and the people that can do these big, stressful, hard things and handle them. Who knows how, but they are able to handle them in some way. We need the people that can let things roll off their back. We need the fighters. We need the protectors. We need the warriors. But you know what else we need? We need the nurturers. We need the creators. We need the dreamers. We need the innovators. We need the empaths. We need the sensitive souls to counterbalance that strength. And now, not to say that being a sensitive person isn't strength, because it absolutely is. And what we've kind of thought is that being sensitive means that we are weak or pathetic, but it doesn't. It just means that we feel things bigger and deeper than those who are less sensitive. Being an HSP, though, doesn't just mean that you feel things emotionally more deeply or more intensely. It also means that all of your senses are more intense, that all of your senses are more sensitive. HSPs have a more acute sense of sight more often than not. They might hear things that other people don't hear, or might be more aware of different sounds that are going on around them. HSPs often have a more acute sense of taste, which is a wonderful thing if you're a foodie, because you taste things and nuances and flavors so much more, and you get so much pleasure from that experience because of it. HSPs also have a more sensitive feeling around their surroundings. So whatever it is that they are experiencing in their surroundings, they are going to be more sensitive to it. One of the ways that it shows up for me is that I am very sensitive to the lighting in my surroundings. I cannot stand fluorescent lights, big bright overhead lights. I am someone who loves warmly lit lamp lights. In the room I'm in right now, other than these lights that I have on me for filming, the whole room is full of lamp lights, and even the big overhead light that was in the middle of the room, I unscrewed the bulb from it so that no one could even turn it on. So knowing that as an HSP, for better or worse, you are going to be more sensitive to your surroundings, and that's just what it is. It's not right, it's not wrong, it just is. The other thing is that HSPs are going to be more sensitive to other people's moods, other people's energy, more in tune with what's happening with other people, which is a good thing in and of itself, but it also means that HSPs become kind of the litmus test of our society, where we can give advice to rein things in where things are going too far, where decisions are being made or actions are being taken without considering how it's going to impact another human being. Because we're so in tune with the feelings and experiences of others, we care about that stuff. We see that stuff, and we can advise accordingly. So being an HSP does make certain things about being human more challenging, but it also makes so many things so much more incredible. And I'm going to list 4 of those things right now. The first one is, as I mentioned, HSPs tend to be more emotionally sensitive. HSPs are able to feel other people's feelings, read other people, be able to tune into them, are more compassionate and empathic, are often the person that someone comes to when they need help, and are able to give that help, and are able to provide comfort and love and reassurance to other human beings. HSPs are really good at being connected to other humans and allowing other human beings to feel connected as well. HSPs are good at being one-on-one with a person, and even for those HSPs that tend to be more extroverted, being in a group of people and really good at drawing everyone in and making sure that no one is feeling left out, that no one is sitting on the sidelines. HSPs are really good at bringing other people into the fold. And as I mentioned, I said that HSPs can be extroverted, which means they also can be introverted. Now, some people tend to kind of think that HSPs, being a more sensitive person, is only reserved for those who are introverts, who are more internal, but that's just not true. Anyone can be a highly sensitive person. It doesn't coincide with being an introvert. You can be an extrovert and really sensitive as well. And another superpower of being an HSP is that sensory sensitivity. Because we are so much more sensitive in our senses, we are usually really good at being able to suss out danger. Because we are so much more sensitive to our environment and to what's going on around us, we are good at being able to see subtle things that are not right, subtle smells that are not right, subtle sounds that are not right, subtle things kind of happening in the foreground that are not right, and are able to anticipate threat better, which prehistorically, that was a really good thing. Prehistorically, we needed the warriors and the fighters to go out to forage and to hunt and to gather, but we also needed the more sensitive souls back at camp to be able to be nurturing and caring and taking care of the surroundings and being able to kind of see what was happening and being able to pay attention to weather patterns, or to be able to hear sounds of tribes of animals or herds of animals that could be a threat. So all the way throughout humanity, we have needed both kinds of humans. And then our next strength about being an HSP is that HSPs are deep thinkers and deep processors. And because of this, they have this rich inner world that allows them to think about, to process, to contemplate, to innovate, to be creative with ideas or even solutions to problems, which makes them incredibly valuable. And now number 4, HSPs are really intuitive, which means that highly sensitive people are able to pick up on those subtle cues in their environment, in others, and within themselves. Now, if you're like, Julia, I know what being intuitive means, but I don't really know what it means. What is intuition? Well, my favorite definition of the term comes from Dr. Brené Brown, who says that our intuition is the place where our head and our hearts meet. And as a highly sensitive person, that head and that heart are going to meet more frequently. So let me ask you, has anyone ever told you that you are too sensitive? Have you ever felt bad for being a sensitive, deep-feeling human? Have you ever thought that this meant that there was something wrong with you? Yes, being a deep feeler, a big feeler, a highly sensitive human does make some things more challenging, but it also makes so many things so much better. It can be something that does cause you to stumble, especially if you haven't learned how to work with your sensitivity and have been spending your life trying to work against your sensitivity, trying to force yourself or shame yourself for being sensitive or force yourself to not be sensitive. And you know as well as I do that that strategy does not work. But we can get better at managing our sensitivity and working with it, and also highlighting the parts that do make it your superpower. As a highly sensitive people, we feel things more deeply, for better or for worse. But because of that better part, it means that we love bigger, we feel joy bigger, we laugh bigger, we connect more deeply. And I don't know about you, but I would not trade that for anything, even if it comes with the stuff that makes it harder. There is no shame in being a highly sensitive person. It's actually not right or wrong or good or bad. It just is. And there's even been research that has come out recently that shows that there's even a genetic marker for being a highly sensitive person. So it's who you are. It's part of your genetic makeup. And learning how to embrace that, how to accept that, how to even love that. And we work on the parts that make being an HSP more challenging, and we celebrate and lean into the parts that make it amazing. And speaking of smoothing out the edges of the things that can make being an HSP harder, I have something for you. It's my 10-minute guided mindfulness exercise, and you're going to love it. It's completely free. The link is in the description below. You just grab it, stick some headphones in, 10 minutes, listen to that, notice how you feel. I'm not going to give anything else away, but make sure you get that before you go. How are you doing? Are you feeling good about being an HSP? I hope you are, because you deserve to, and you should. So good to be with you here today. Let me know something that connected with you in the comment section below. And as always, take good care of yourselves. Take good care of those around you. Bye for now.